Thanks, Hake. I forgot about the whole muting and knowing how to stream thing. Hopefully we're all good. Hopefully that was it. We can go and carry on with this weird as fuck game.
Funny if there's no pic.
All of that was for my daughter, my eldest, on holiday, and apparently they put pictures up daily or whatever it is, and yeah, that's all Lady Mush wanted to do. Go and look at the pictures. Yeah, it didn't work. Right, let's go and carry on. So. Now go back. Oh, nice. Go down.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Hopefully everyone's still watching.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape or mind control. I kind of want to see what mind control is. Mind control. Fuck. We walk off the edge. Interrogation. Oh.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Hex, what is this game, lad?
Good job, you did it. Good job.
What the fuck am I playing?
3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Good job, you did it. I'm obsessed. This has to be the most annoying thing I think I've ever played.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh. I'm a more chat. What is this?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
My God. Oh no.
At first,
Have I found
Stanley
another one?
assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Is this the void?
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of
Thank
video
God.
game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are we sick of this gag? No.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the
still into it,
narration?
Jim?
Oh, and this is Rich.
thank you for the
Perhaps you
bitty.
just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact,
This
I'm
is too
just
damn
going to
shut
say
up.
that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so
I'm
much
done.
that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot
Whether you have
forever
to stay listening.
and ever.
Really?
Cheers.
But off? Can't. Like stuck. I'm stuck in a box. Huh. I'm in a box. Hello. Do we have to restart?
All of his co-workers were gone.
I'm going back
What
in.
could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This has gone a different direction. Oh no, maybe I haven't. Got like different endings.
When
to
Stanley
each
came
one.
to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm going left this time, Ginger. Oh, didn't we go left last time?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
I've done
Stanley
this
decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might
Wait.
find an answer there.
Yeah, we went right last time.
Coming to a staircase,
Right,
Stanley
we went
walked upstairs
up
to
last
his
time.
boss's office.
So do we go down?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And
Do I
then
need to
something
remember that for
occurred to
anything?
Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
It's
And for that
fucking me off.
matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
He's taking a piss.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
What the
How was he
fuck?
remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in
Go
their
around in
dreams,
fucking
the
circles.
truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain,
Recommendation.
beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Me.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all
Thanks,
I
Hex.
want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Just trying to wake you up.
My life is normal.
Me or Stanley?
I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Don't think you are, mate.
Right.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
Again.
I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Are you taking the piss? We did it again. How long and how many times? Ginge said he reckons there's 42.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left or right, sir?
Hi.
Yeah, but
What? I'm so confused.
there's so many different endings.
Right.
Right, okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Now we've been left, we've done left. But we went left and pressed a big button. So do we go left and straight on or by your route? Not lying right now.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not jump from good lift. Jump. Restart again.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Danger everywhere. Car, go.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm being told by Lady Mush to go to the blue.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Weird game.
Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
I like it's odd. It's very, very odd. I guess we go through this one.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
What feedback do we give him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have you been good? We have, yeah. 7? There is no 7. 3? 3 or 1?
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
World leader. Stanley, this is you. You're a cunt. I'm going back in and out. Back in the orange one.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect.
I'd go for it.
Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of
I've now
family
tried
life.
to stop a baby from
I
burning.
think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the
Don't
game
stop
only
it.
becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Perfect. Bye. See ya. Have a great one.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems
It's
obvious
Bigfoot.
to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower.
What?
Perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Well, there's the power. So I'm up here on my own, aren't I? Oh, the ladder's there. There's. Hi, big man.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
Can't
It
be what?
is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh,
Did you
thank
just watch the
goodness, Stanley.
passage?
What a
I
close
didn't.
call.
No.
You nearly wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can
Oh,
just
it's a
go
gap.
in any. Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley.
Can we get through the gap?
Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice,
No.
big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had
Brilliant.
in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley,
Yes.
if you manage to get lost in this
Where's the
game,
ball?
I will be phenomenally impressed.
I managed to get lost.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Yes. Let's go! I'm on it. I'm going for orange.
Are you doing it?
Yes.
Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
I mean, yeah, it's
Stanley,
alright.
I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric
Multiple
sports experience.
balls.
I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it?
That's pretty
Stanley,
cool.
I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more.
Balls.
I'm insatiable. More balls.
Jesus. Big balls, big balls, big balls, big balls.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having
Right.
fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope. Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh, we've actually lost him. Oh. I don't actually have a single fucking clue what the hell is going on. I'm so fucking I sort of missed the dude now. What was it like? Hey, what was that? What the fuck? Someone jumps at me, I'm gonna lose it.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Okay. Oh. Swear to God, if we're backing up. Don't piss him off. We did that. We did that one, I think.
All of his co-workers
I won
were
again.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm fed up hearing the same shit.
Stanley went around touching
I don't
every
know.
little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The left takes you to the boss, doesn't it? So should we go to the boss and piss him off with the keypad? Let's do that.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Been in the bathroom. Boom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
No,
any
I've seen a
human
broom
life.
closet, but I never
What
did
could it
anything about it.
mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its
You wouldn't
purpose
believe how long
be?
it took me.
In fact, this keypad
Press
guarded
3
the terrible
multiple
secret
times.
that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number.
We never had this noise.
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Open and press. Open.
2845.
Didn't do anything.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I don't think it does anything. Okay, I know it. We did this. Go down, up, and then down again, don't you? It makes you go round in circles. What is this called? Lost I am beyond confused. All I know is it has multiple different endings and up. Go down, then up, then down again.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up.
I think
Silly
we've already
me.
done this.
Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the
Nothing
plot of the
about
story
this.
in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
think we're pissing them
It's
off.
that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
How many times have we got press 3, 3, 3, 3? Okay, go down again.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Right.
door that read
Now we went
Mind
that way.
Control Facility.
Do we now go? We gotta go escape now, haven't we? Up. Oh, escape. 'Cause I don't want to go back up there.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The
Swear to
door
fuck.
behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Bye, mate.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see
Stanley's
that
cute.
Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This is so confusing. Have we done it again? Is this what it's all about? Credits. Oh, that's that big red button I pressed. Alien base. So I'm so confused. That's annoying. Multiple versions of my office. Oh. Do it again. Do it again. No, do it again. I want to see if I press the button. Go. Oh, I can't press it. I want to press the on-off button. Did you get the new content?
Oh,
No
look
idea.
at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can
I
you
know.
see how much they need one another? No,
That's happening.
perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose
No.
it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I'll be back at the fucking desk, can I? Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know how many more times I could play this game.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
He's not done that yet. Did you jump? What, this one? The other one? Yeah, I jumped out. Yeah, I jumped out there. And I fell off the edge of the big room.
When Stanley came to a set of
Right.
2 open doors, he
Go
entered
this
the
way.
door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he'd coming to a staircase, Stanley
that?
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
A broom closet. I can't remember where it was. Oh, it's another room. There's a lift. The lift. We're going up. We're back. What's the bathroom? Oh, so I can't go back.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator
I
talk.
noticed there's a gap.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh my god.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Can't go in the gap. How many times have you played this? Or have you played it, or have you just watched other people?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the
Because we
large
never
door
actually
that
hit
read
this button.
Mind Control Facility.
You haven't got the new content. No, I don't think so.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
Last time we just
screens.
did this and launched
What
us off the
horrible
edge.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Well, yes, he did. Stanley's going.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
We've definitely not done this.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
No, never done. Not. Dude, how you
And
doing?
when at last he found the source of the room's
see you,
power,
man.
he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place
Have
and
to
to
do some
everything it stood
Ending
for.
to unlock the new content. On or off? Off. I am good, man. Doing good, thank you. How are you? I don't know if you've ever seen this, but a
Blackness
weird
And
game.
a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Must be the
Freedom was
name, lad.
mere moments
I'm better
away.
than the weather.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where
Hopefully you
had
get
his
better soon,
co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or
No,
how to
won't.
feel.
Not COVID. Though.
Whatever
Thank
life
God it's
he
not
lives,
COVID, lad.
it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Ah, that was nice. Right, back to the office. Really? I beat the game. I got the achievement. I've done it. Done it. Yeah. Hey man, been a while. How are you? I'm good, dude. How are you, my friend? Right, so I beat the game. Beaten it.
All of
that's
his
the whole
co-workers
thing.
were gone.
But now it's
What
telling
could
me
it mean?
to get again.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Trying to see if the new door is there. Where do I find the new door? Been working. Hi man, busy for you, I would imagine, dude. How's the streaming? I did hop on earlier, but I was I was only lurking.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I guess.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too. Sort of over the moon to go back to the fucking office.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken?
I think so.
What's going on here?
Think
Should
fucked
we...
it.
Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Go.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if
Tedious.
Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
All right, lads. We're going to do it. Finest content.
All right. All right, let's see. It's
You
the
can't
jump circle.
jump. You fuck. You piss me off. Oh, you can jump. Welcome to Jumping Simulator. And now you can't jump anymore. You can only jump while that is there. Great, thanks, game.
Is that it?
Apparently, mate.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of
my
this
job.
game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. They could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say,
You can
friend?
get on this chair. Oh. Wait. Who?
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent.
You creepy
I want to
ass
show you something.
motherfucker. Psst, mush. Ben. Fuck off. Do we go in the vent? Or do we go upstairs? What do you reckon? Vent? Stairs. Psst. I've got some sweets. The narrator is sus. Yeah, I maybe go in the vent. Oh no, because it's... I know, I can crouch again. You're a bastard. Would you like...
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the memory zone. It's where I've been
Oh, it's
storing all my
beautiful.
favorite memories so I can
Oh,
relive the peak
beautiful.
experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
You better vote him out. Yeah, right. Baby.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was
Actual
sullied with a
geography.
cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Missing an eye, possibly having a small stroke. The Last of Us. So this is like another museum, I guess. Some bitch is singing to me. What's the fuck?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now
It does
it's
look a
nothing.
bit.
It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh, there's another door open. I didn't have to stand there and listen to it. Oh, go in there. The original remake.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Oh,
The
dude, just
Stanley
open the
Parable
door.
is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't
You
you get
enjoying
it,
it, Mr.
Stanley?
Gin?
The
Miss-
game was
Mrs.
perfect.
Ginge.
It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust
it's
in the
funny, it's
hallowed
quite- it is
hall
quite
of
comical.
beloved video game memories.
But why can't it go in here? Way to glitch in. Oh, and you've got to be able to get in there. Phasmo 2 looks awesome.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Steam
Oh
review.
no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Probably not, lad.
Honestly,
People
I
have to
could
play
not
this
be bothered
game.
to play this game to full completion.
The
The
narrator.
narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue
Unfunny?
proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Not looking so good for narrator, is it? A lot of bad Steam reviews. Oh, there's a couple of green ones. Pretty good ones.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
Good.
While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Preachy?
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel...
It feels
like a
very
failure.
much like
I let these people down.
a
Perhaps the
commentary
Stanley Parable
comedy.
isn't quite as
walking
sterling as
cinema.
I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of
I mean,
what's
they're not
happening.
wrong. They're
I
not
wish there
wrong.
was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only
Skip
positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy rumination. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really...
I'm just gonna keep pressing it.
Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh,
shit,
my
he's
goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Bye, mate. Uh-oh.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place?
Don? Oh, God. I mean, you weren't at that time. I'm not sure what I've done.
But they didn't understand the game
fucking hell,
was
he's
never
back.
meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough.
you.
They had...
Oh, he's gone again. Shit. Need the plant. Now the clock's on the floor. We're doing something.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end,
He's
is never
depressed.
the end, is never 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 the end, is.
Shut up, man. Am I just now just constantly stuck in this room? We seem to have a leak. Are we filling with water? Oh damn. Uh-oh. Oh dear. We've got a problem. Sunlight? Are we going to be able to get out soon? Well, we done fucked it, kids. Vegetation is the fern. Fern in the first bit. It's growing. It's growing. Oh no, I killed him. Everything's dead. Doesn't sound too good up there, you know. We're just scared. Give me this, give me this, give me this. No, fuck you. Fuck. Has it broken though? I think we officially killed the skip button. What have we done? We skip again? Nope. What did we do? What did I do? Oh. We're going back to the office. Guaranteed it. Are you kidding? You're taking the piss.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something?
Oh.
He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Go, buddy, go. Do we go back to the new content? Or do we carry on? Maybe the room after the new content with boxes fucking. Oh no.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
But he's excited. Gonna be the same shit again. Huh? No?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
I can't get in the box. This game's so fucking old. Damn, got an upgrade.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay. Button says player that is playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2,
fuck.
I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
I press. Huh? The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the
Jim.
button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say
That's
your
fucking
name,
funny.
whatever name that is. Here, let's have you roleplay as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Jimmy
Just
from
play
Phasmo.
along. I promise
I'm
you'll
now a
love it.
potato.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
My
I
name
want
is
you to
Jim.
imagine yourself living as Jim. Sleeping and waking as Jim.
Yes.
Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim. Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim.
Darling, I've
And as
changed my name
Jim,
to Jim.
watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply?
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting
Oh,
up
I'm
the
sorry.
backstory. If you don't
Oh.
properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never
What about-
understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name.
Jim.
Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Do I press the button
Imagine
again?
yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee
well,
on the
no.
weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscover...
Jim.
All right,
Jim.
fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out
Yes.
of here. I'm
Right,
done
you
with this
fucking
button. Why
asshole.
don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Right. Jesus. We are now called Jim. Is our...
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Cringe. Fuck it. We've got to do them all, surely. The hole. Right, we'll do the hole. Go the hole. I think it's this way, isn't it? Circle. Hole. Great. It won't end. Okay, what are you doing? If we're just gonna fall through a fucking hole the entire time.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even
Thanks
more
for
of my
that.
ideas for the sequel.
Infinite hole. No? Again? Why? Let me guess, it's not infinite.
Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here,
So weird.
let's
It's
try
like
something.
listening to a
Let's
story the
pop
whole
back
time.
up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Oh, it's
Is
not working.
the, teleport button not working? You sure?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
I'm stuck. Great. Definitely on. Oh, going down. Him.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Right, peeps. I am going to have to call it there for the night, because family is sleeping. I have worked. And as much as it's incredibly odd and good fun, I have to be somewhat. Hopefully it saves. If it doesn't, we'll get back at some point. Yeah, we are gonna. Well, I'm gonna bounce for. But yeah, it's been a funny moment. Very odd moment. Definitely, we'll have another look again. But I'm gonna skedaddle straight to bed because I'm full. We will go and raid some. Almost forgot. No worries at all. We'll find someone playing it, shall we? Here we go. Can sell it this
Stanley
person.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door of his raft.
There we have it. Right. Thanks everyone hopping in. I'm gonna peace out. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, it's been great fun. Thank you, Loki, for the game. It's been one hell of an experience, at least. But yeah, we will carry on. We will carry on at some point and see what else there is to ramble on about. Right. Good night, everyone. I'll see you in a bit.